The Indo-Pacific region, spanning from the eastern shores of Africa to the Pacific island, has become a focal point of global geopolitics. This region accounts for over 60% of the global GDP and facilitates nearly half of the world's maritime trade. For India, a nation straddling the Indian Ocean, the Indo-Pacific is not just a geographical construct, but it's a strategic lifeline that shapes its economic and the security policies. As former Indian Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh aptly stated, the Indian Ocean has become the center stage of the 21st century global geopolitics. Hello everyone, I'm Vishal Salsekar, Faculty of International Relations at VisionIAS, and today we are going to discuss this particular theme comprehensively. During our discussion, we will discuss how the construct of Asia-Pacific has later changed to Indo-Pacific, the evolution of the concept of Indo-Pacific, its significance for India, and strategic diplomacy of Indo-Pacific. We will also discuss about the challenges pertaining to the region and India's strategic partnership in the Indo-Pacific, and also the way ahead regarding securing India's interest. So let's start the discussion. The term Indo-Pacific has evolved over a period of time from the term Asia-Pacific to reflect the growing economic and the strategic interdependence of India and the Pacific Ocean. Unlike the Asia-Pacific, which is focused on East Asia and the Western Pacific, the Indo-Pacific construct incorporates the Indian Ocean's importance and India's rising influence. As highlighted by former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in his 2007 speech, the confluence of two seas marked the conceptual genesis of the concept of Indo-Pacific. This idea gained traction as the nations like United States, Australia, and India recognized the need for a more inclusive framework to address the shared security and the economic challenges. The concept also gained institutional momentum with the formalization of Quad, which is a grouping of India, United States, Japan, and Australia. The Indo-Pacific emphasizes inclusivity, underlining by the respect for the international law, sovereignty, and freedom of navigation. It provides a counterbalance to China's expanding influence, which has often been accused of disregarding the international norms, particularly in the South China Sea. Now talking about the significance of Indo-Pacific for India. The Indo-Pacific is vital for multiple reasons. Economically, it serves as the gateway for 95% of India's trade by volume and 68% by value. Energy security is another critical aspect, with over 80% of India's crude oil imports passing through the Indian Ocean. The Strait of Malacca, connecting the Indian Ocean with the Pacific, is particularly crucial for India's economic security. The Indo-Pacific Economic Framework is one such prominent framework concerning regarding the economic engagements between the countries of Indo-Pacific. Now talking about strategically, the Indo-Pacific aligns with India's Act East policy, emphasizing a deeper engagement with Southeast Asia and the East Asian nations. The Indo-Pacific Ocean Initiative, launched in 2019, is India's vision for fostering collaboration in the areas such as maritime security, sustainable resources use, and disaster resilience. This framework not only reinforces India's commitment to regional stability, but also reflects its aspiration to be a net security provider in the region. Now talking about the strategic diplomacy in Indo-Pacific, the India's approach to Indo-Pacific is deeply influenced by the example of strategic diplomacy in the region, such as the partnership forged by Japan and Philippines. These nations highlights how the alliance based on shared values can effectively address the regional challenges. Japan has been a staunch advocate for the free and open Indo-Pacific region. Its strategic alignment with Philippines showcases how the nation can counter China's aggressive maritime claims while fostering the regional cooperation. Japan's support to the Philippines in enhancing its maritime domain awareness and upgrading its defense capabilities underlines the importance of capacity building and also partnerships. The Japan support to the infrastructure development and defense modernization in the Philippines serve as a blueprint for India to strengthen its own partnerships in the region. Now, India can draw lessons from these examples by enhancing its collaboration with multiple smaller Indo-Pacific nations through the aspects like capacity building initiatives, infrastructural developments, and maritime security cooperation. This approach aligns with India's emphasis on inclusivity and respect for regional autonomy. Having discussed about the significance of the region, the Indo-Pacific faces a range of challenges, particularly from China's assertive policies. China's militarization of artificial islands in South China Sea, combined with its expansive claim under the 9-dash line, undermines regional stability. For example, the Philippines' long-standing territorial dispute with China highlights the complexity of navigating China's coercive diplomacy. Additionally, China's Belt and Road Initiative has created significant dependencies for smaller nations. Projects like Hambantota Port in Sri Lanka and Gwadar Port in Pakistan exemplifies how China's investment often translates into strategic leverage. For India, the string of pearls strategy threatens its maritime security. Beyond China, the other challenges includes the weak regional institution, fragmented priorities among the Indo-Pacific nations, and lack of cohesive framework to address the security concerns. However, India's growing engagement with key regional players reflects its commitment to a stable Indo-Pacific. One of the most prominent is the Quad, that remains central to India's Indo-Pacific strategy. It fosters cooperation in maritime security, climate change, and critical technologies. The initiatives like Quad Vaccine Partnership underscore its broader development focus. Another important engagement is developmental partnership with the prominent countries like Japan and India, shares the strong strategic ties underpinned by the arrangements like the acquisition and cross-servicing agreement. Both the nations have collaborated on multiple aspects, for example, infrastructure projects in third countries, such as the Asia-Africa Growth Corridor, which presents an alternative to China's BRI. Also, India's Act East policy prioritizes deeper economic and the strategic ties with ASEAN, emphasizing the bloc's centrality in the Indo-Pacific region. India's participation in the East Asia Summit reflects its commitment. Further, to secure its interest in the Indo-Pacific region, India must adopt a multi-pronged approach. This includes, first, strengthening the naval capabilities like investment in advanced naval platforms, maritime domain awareness system, and joint exercises like Malabar, which is crucial for India to project its power in the region. Second, enhancing regional diplomacy like drawing lessons from Japan and Philippines. India should deepen its partnership with the smaller Indo-Pacific nations. Capacity building initiatives and developmental assistance can enhance regional trust and cooperation. Third, economic engagement, where India must enhance trade relations with the region. Initiatives like Supply Chain Resilience Initiative (SCRI) involving India, Japan, and Australia are the step towards reducing reliance on China-dominated supply chains. Fourth is promoting multilateralism, where India should actively engage with the regional frameworks, for example, IORA and ASEAN-led mechanisms. Advocating a rule-based order and adherence to the UNCLOS will strengthen India's position as a responsible stakeholder. Last is the soft power diplomacy, where India's rich cultural and the historical ties with the Indo-Pacific nations should be leveraged to build its goodwill. Initiatives like the International Solar Alliance and the digital connectivity projects can enhance further India's soft power. The Indo-Pacific represents a region of immense opportunities and complex challenges. For India, it is not just a geographical expanse, but a strategic priority. By drawing on the examples like Japan and Philippines, India can craft a balanced and the inclusive approach that can promote the regional stability while safeguarding its interest. As aptly stated by the present Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, the Indo-Pacific is not a strategy, a club of limited members, or a grouping that seeks to dominate, but it is a free, open, and inclusive region. This vision, coupled with the strategic foresight and collaborative partnership, will enable India to shape a prosperous and the secure Indo-Pacific for the future. The Indo-Pacific is a highly relevant topic for all stages of UPSC examination. In prelims exam, questions often focus upon the geographical features like the Strait of Malacca and the South China Sea, as well as the current affairs related to the Quad and the Indo-Pacific Ocean Initiative can be important aspect. For the means, it is crucial for the General Studies paper GS2 from the international relations perspective, as it involves discussion on India's Act East policy and Quad, while for GS paper 3, it requires the analysis of the challenges such as the maritime security and China's assertiveness. For the essay paper, it may include the topic like India's role in Indo-Pacific or challenges to multilateralism in the Indo-Pacific. Finally, in the interview stage also, the aspirants may face the questions about India's foreign policy, regional partnerships, or specific maritime issues. Studying the Indo-Pacific not only prepares aspirants for the examination, but also provides deeper insights into India's strategic and the global priorities. So this is it for today's discussion. We will meet further to discuss such interesting topics on the international relations in future. Thank you.